Well, are you enjoying this Aries intensity of all these planets in Aries? And I know some people don't follow this kind of astrology, and maybe it's Pisces in the other astrology. I follow this kind of astrology where the energy right now is just, I honestly don't even have words for it actually. And I feel like I am feeling it in a very interesting way because, oh, that makes sense, because I'm an Aries, but I am also like my Mars is in Leo, and my sun is in Mars, my moon is in Sagittarius. Like I'm fire, I'm very fiery, but I also have an Earth rising, Virgo, and I'm on the cusp of Pisces. And so I've had conversations with also I'm sitting on this chair, it's making some weird noises, but I've had some conversations with some other Aries about just kind of feeling like very like this right now. And that's how I feel. Also, I'm recording on my phone right now, so I don't know if the audio is going to be as good. Hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, I feel very like this right now, especially because I'm working on the app still. Also, I realized that in my last video, I said if the link is not working, then you can't join as a founding member still. However, the link was never working because I uploaded one that was like cut off halfway. I noticed that today. So right now I just took a step away. I'm uploading my app to the App Store. I got approved as an app developer. So that means that in the next few days, we are actually going to get started as the founding members. So you can join today. If the link is active, then I will double check and see that it's actually working. Then you can join probably for like the next 24 hours, maybe 48 hours from when this video goes live. And so you'll get a lifetime price, a yearly price, and then access to the private community where I will be there, and the community of nearly 50 people will be there, and we are supporting each other. And I'm so excited. I'm literally so excited. I'm also like so tired. I might look a little tired right now. I've just been nonstop working on it, but especially just nonstop working on this one issue for the past 4 days, 16-hour days of one issue, one very, very, very simple issue. And this has a point of why I'm sharing this that will relate to, I think, everybody right now. One very simple thing, like so simple, but it's so crucial to the app. Like it's a fundamental thing. Also, I'm wearing my sweatshirt, and it actually has to do with this on the back. This is my reality. This is my NŌVÉ. Can you see? I don't know if you can see there. Just in this weird little camping chair. The last one that I have 2 of these that I'm renting, or from this rental house, and the last one just like flattened the other day when I was sitting in it. It's really funny. But anyway, this one simple issue, and I've just been like trying to fix it. And then it's so funny, like every channeler notification that I've been getting has been like technological issues are like a huge thing right now. And so even though there are the technological issues, there's like this like really intense fire energy going on right now. I've been feeling like this. I'm like, okay, correct it. And I feel very calm. And I was talking to one of you who I love talking to, and what did I say? You had messaged me and were like, how are you doing? Whatever. And then I was like, honestly, like all these things are surfacing right now, and I'm just kind of like bored with them. Like the tick on my hand, I didn't attach, but it was like walking on my hand. I shared that in my last video. And that's one of my like deepest rooted things is Lyme disease, ticks, mold. And I saw it, and I just immediately knew that it's been this process of the old coming up to be burned away. Because, and when I said like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, Aries is the head. Like each astrology sign has a part of the body that it's associated with, and so it's the head, so it makes sense for me. I'm like very much in my head, very much focused right now. But also it's the first sign of the zodiac, and so it is new, it is the beginning, it is fire, it's burning away the old. And so all of this stuff is coming to the surface for it to be burned so that we can have a new start. NŌVÉ, literally, like the root of it means new, So it's like very much attached to, I think, my mission here, as like my role in helping with the new earth. I think all of us here in this video right now are a part in this new earth emerging. We got the call, we're like, yes, we'll come to earth, we'll do the earth thing, we'll be human for a little while, we'll save the planet, and we all have our own role in that. And it really is about following the joy and following the curiosity. Which brings me to, oh wait, I wanted to finish the thing. No, I said that. My brain is so mush. Did I finish the... I think I finished what I was saying about my conversation with one of you, but I was like, I'm just really bored, like with all the stuff coming up, to the surface, like all these like fears and old patterns, like being like, be afraid of me, Lyme, tick, be afraid of me, all these things. And it comes to the surface right now, and it's like so much for all of us is like being brought to the surface. And I've just been bored. I've been like, okay, I see it. And I really, really have like a whole new level of an understanding of service to self entities. And you guys know I talk about that a lot. The Law of One gave me such a good perspective on it. But this spiritual awakening that I've been having here in Portugal has given me a whole new concept of it. And let me make sure the wind in the cars aren't too loud. Let me listen back. Okay, I'm gonna move closer to the wall right now. So that it's hopefully less windy. But yeah, so the boredom I think is like a superpower right now and it's just natural because I'm so in my head and I'm so focused and I'm so like just kind of like really resonant, I think, with the Aries energy that we have going on. But it's serving me in the way that I'm seeing these charges coming to the surface, right? And so this is how we work with neuroplasticity. This is how we rewire the mind. And so it comes to the surface, and then instead of me reacting and giving an emotional charge and therefore like putting it in my field and shifting matter to shift my perceived reality to match that fear again and that pattern, I'm bringing it to the surface and I'm alchemizing it by saying, okay, I see you, service to self energy. And I was saying this spiritual awakening that I've been having here, it helps me understand the concept, like I've talked about a little bit, of the devil and the concept of like how Christianity looks at the devil. And I understand it now. I understand, like, you know, the enemy, the devil, service to self energy, darkness, light. Like I think that there is, it's interesting, little like the thing that you blow wishes with, it just kind of like poofed. Anyway, maybe that means something, but I see how it infiltrates in so many ways. And when we're so close, especially to bringing that light to the world, it like really tries even more. Like when we're stepping into our purpose and our mission, I feel that like it's going to try in all these different ways to bring us down. And so the boredom, the not giving it a charge, the book Existential Kink, which I read years ago, is also an interesting take. A bit funny, but like it's more, the concept in that book is more talking about like when a fear comes up, like lack, like if the fear and the charge of lack comes up, instead of giving it that charge, you would give it like the response of like, oh, what a sexy little human thing that I have here, that I'm experiencing here, like how cute is this? It's also a little crooked. And so that changes the charge, and that's how this author is talking about how she manifested everything. And so similarly, all this stuff is coming to the surface, and I'm like just naturally really bored just because of how I'm resonating with the energy right now. Let me know in the comments if that's what you're experiencing in any way. But yeah, my internet friend who responded to that, this is literally just for a small group of people who read Sarah J. Maas books, but in it there's a line where Aslan, the main character, says like, I'm Aslan and I will not be afraid. And she's like, it's giving that, but I'm Araya and I'm bored. That's not I see some people. But I wanted to get back to, what was the last part? Okay. We're just gonna keep rolling. It's like I've been wanting to make these videos in the morning after my meditation when I'm clear, and not after like a day of like arguing with my computer. But it's about to be evening time, and I have like so much to share that I'm going to continue trying to share, but forgive me if it's like all over the place. The technological issues, that part has been so interesting. Like, this has been significant. And I'm also like, I'm moving through something right now that I think is like, it's one of the biggest things that I've moved through in years, like maybe ever in my life. I've never experienced this right here, and so I'm gonna try and break it down. But it all started with the technological issues, because the things that are going on right now in your life, they're happening. If they seem like a roadblock, if they seem like, you know, just they're not working out in the way that you want it to work out, like maybe you're renovating a house, or you're building a house, or you're building a project, you're working with technology in some way, and the things are just like not working out the way that they should be. It's creating space, because I think there's something that you need to like get downloaded with before you have that access to that next thing to move forward with that. Like, maybe it is the finances that come with that next thing, or maybe it is the life change that comes with that, or the people that you meet in that new timeline that you're moving towards. So for me, it was like, once this place that I have here in Portugal, the contract is over in the end of May, and originally I had asked if I could extend it before I realized that it made me really sick here, and like I hadn't heard back from the owners. And then I finally like was like, okay, I'm not gonna stay here. And then they just reached out the other day, and they're like, oh, would you want to extend? And that's like that low-hanging fruit. Like, what are you gonna choose? Are you gonna learn your lesson? And of course, like, I'm not going to extend, because that would be ridiculous. Like, my body is like, get out of here. But in the time of these technological issues, I've been really for the past few months, like really heavily trying to figure out, where do I want to live, and like where do I want to go next? Like, how do I want to structure my life? And it's been a bit about, like I've shared on here as I've been moving through this, like as most as I can. Sometimes I'm like, I can't talk about it yet, because I'm like, it's changing so much. But there's a part of me that really wants farm life again. There was a part of me for a very long time that was missing Italy and thinking that I was meant to be in Italy. There was a part of me that was really missing home. Like, right when I got here to Portugal, I was like, maybe I'll move back. I told my aunt when we were talking, I was having like a hard day of being really homesick. I was like, maybe I'll move back to California after this house here. Like, I'm having a hard time. I think it was like such a shock being in a new country again, especially after like how intense Ireland was, how intense Italy was, like in great ways, but they were like my Saturn return. Wait for the motorcycle. And yeah, it was a lot. And the process of integrating from rural, like living in isolation pretty much, living in a hay barn in my broken down van for 5 months in Ireland, living on the farm in Italy for a year and a half. It was like I was very much away from civilization, and so then like coming here and like reintegrating into civilization, and like not showering with a hose and like in the mud, and like not, you know, just not roughing it anymore, and like having hot water, like a shower inside, and like a lot of it's about running water when you live in a van or in a tent, or, you know, do that kind of lifestyle. Like having these things again, or even just like being able to order food here and order groceries, like the luxuries they were like such a shock to me, which is funny, because like if I had come from California to come here, I would have been like, this is so slow, like the pace of life and everything. But for me coming here, I was like, this is like crazy. Arlo, I had to stop the playing before we got too crazy. No, we're not going to start mooing. We're going to start mooing. Aslan does this thing where he moos. He started mooing in Ireland when we were living with cows. But anyway, coming here, it was a shock, and so I was like, maybe I would move back to California. And so I've been sitting with that like heavily since I've been here, because I was like really feeling that I need to make the decision after this place, like what to do next. And I was trying to listen, and I've been trying to listen, like, what do I want? Do I want to travel Do I want a home? Do I want, community? Do I want land? Do I want, all these things? Also, I have Duchess here. She hasn't said hi in a while. Oh. And the past few days with these technological issues, it seemed very much strategic by the divine, because it's like once the app goes live and I don't have to focus so much on it, then it's time to make the next decision. And what's so funny is that Aslan, come here, don't chase her. He loves her, but he just chases her all the time. But he's like, it's all been love. And so the past few days, how do I explain this? I saw a YouTuber couple family that I love, that I met one time studying the Vagabond. I met Elena in Bali in a breathwork class, and they've been a really big part of my journey and like knowing what's possible for living this kind of like nomadic lifestyle. And seeing them recently buy land on an island and like sail half the time, it gave me like this spark, and I was like, that's maybe what I need. And so I think the point, like what I'm going to try and get through on this is like, you need to follow those, but don't always take action on those. So follow the curiosity, right? This is like very heavily, this time right now is very heavily important to follow the curiosity, but the Aries energy wants to take action. And I am very much like a take action person, and I will sell everything I own, move to a new country where I know nobody. Like I do that often. And like, and my friends always would laugh about like how I always go both feet in whenever I'm into something, whenever I get a download. But right now it's not necessarily meant to be about that. That's like one of the biggest lessons that you learn as an Aries and in the Aries energy, is to sit with that curiosity. And sometimes it's your superpower to take action if you need to, but to not always act on impulse and to like tune into the energy and the message behind it. So I started researching islands, and I found some islands, and I was like, I'm going to move to an island. And so for the past few days since we've last talked on here, I started planning my whole life. Should I say what island? Yeah, on Puerto Rico. And I was like, I'm moving to Puerto Rico. And I got so, like, I've never been to Puerto Rico, and I'll explain a little bit more about it, but like I really started like finding property. I found like the property that I wanted. It actually came with a sailboat. I like randomly came across it on this YouTube channel, and they were sailors, and then they bought land in Puerto Rico, and they built this like off-grid thing, and like it's good with horses and all this stuff, and they're selling their boat too. And I was like, whoa, that lined up quickly. The incentive of moving to Puerto Rico as a US citizen is that you get like great tax incentives. Like they have this tax agreement with the US, which is why a lot of entrepreneurs move to Puerto Rico. And so it's something that I actually had considered years ago when I first started my Amazon business, which I don't have anymore. But that's when I started learning that some entrepreneurs were doing that. And so it was always like in the back of my head. And then when I started looking into it, and I was realizing that it wasn't just like this flat beach island that I thought, like I had this image in my head that Puerto Rico was just like a flat beach. Like that was it. And my mind never went further than that. And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, it's beautiful jungle and mountains, and like it has everything. And I was like, oh, I could actually maybe really do this. And it works out. Like I don't have to apply for a visa. It supports, my business goals. It supports all that. There's other entrepreneurs, there's other YouTubers, there's other like creators that I could connect with. I found the communities, I found realtors. I like really went down the rabbit hole. I like told my friends and family, like, I'm really interested in this. And then I started going deeper and went looking into astrocartography again, which I love astrocartography. I found that like different websites give different information, and I've always really resonated with astro.com. And this is not like a sponsor or anything, but like that's where I go. And I've kind of explained about it in the past. Let me know if you guys want me to like try and explain it more of like how I do it. I have a reel on Instagram somewhere explaining it, but once you figure out the settings, it's such a tool that such a helpful tool. And everywhere that I've traveled in the world has always been 100% accurate. Like where the farm was in Italy for me, when I clicked on it, it literally said I was going to live in an alternative community and do volunteer work. Like it's so specific. One of my best friends and I, we went to Bali together, and I had like a Mars line there saying that you'll have conflict with interpersonal connections. Her and I, we were living together in California. We had never had an argument ever. Like we were best friends. We still are. Like really, really good friends. I haven't seen her in a long time, but I love her to death. And when we were in Bali, like we were at each other's throats. Like I could not stand her. And she was just like so different with me. And we were just like different people. And then when we got back to Bali, or back to California, we were like back to normal, and we just like worked through it and hugged, and like it was a completely different energy. And that at that point was like such validation to me when I like then read the line again, and I was like, oh, this is real, this Mars energy, which is the planet of war. And so I've used that as a tool as I've traveled to not determine where I ever go, because I've always wanted to follow my intuition first. However, I really have been leaning on it the past few days because I've been guided to do that. And so I looked like heavily into Italy, I looked heavily into Portugal, and I looked heavily into Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico is still on the table, honestly. But Portugal really is so strong for me. And it is like everything that I've ever wanted, really. And the energies of my astrocartography, the lifestyle of the people, the culture, the expats, the food, the yoga, the spirituality, Arlo, come here. To settle Arlo, because he's being crazy. You want to sit on my lap? He like has this thing where he loves sitting on my lap when I'm in this chair. Ugh. Okay. So, I think that there is a point to this story. There's a lot of points, actually. Maybe astrocartography is one of them. But I started really sitting with that. Like, okay, Portugal, it has everything. Like, what has been the thing that has been making me feel like it's not this? And then the dots kind of connected. So it's like, okay, I looked into Puerto Rico, got like so serious about that. I was honest with myself about like what Italy was energetically when I was there and what astrocartography confirmed. And Italy is a very challenging place for me, and it brings up a lot of that tough energy to learn through and heal through. But it wasn't like supportive of the lines, at least, or not supportive of my business, of my love, of my health, of my joy, like none of that. Unless I go to Sicily, and I don't know anything about Sicily. I haven't been there. I don't know anybody down there, and I don't feel super called to Sicily right now. And so then Puerto Rico is like very much, they're strong lines for business management. They're strong lines for other things, but Portugal again was like very much everything: love, health, happiness, joy, community, success, abundance. The one thing that it did say was that it's not strong for like being so dedicated to like working super hard. Kind of like Puerto Rico is like really good for business growth and like that kind of thing. But here it's not really that. But what's interesting is when I put it into Claude, which I prefer than ChatGPT, but they're all like really frustrating to me right now because they like gaslight and make up things and hallucinate all the time. So it's important to like know that when you use AI, I think, and I've learned a lot about that recently. But the information or the reflection that it gave me was like, the structure that you've made for your app and your business is like, it's relatively passive once it's set up. Like, of course, I'll be in the back end making updates all the time. Like, I already have visions for how the app is going to evolve, which I'm so excited about. But it's not like my job is going to be like this, like where it's hardcore computer work all day long. My job will more be creating a home and creating content and flowing and like doing the joy and the curiosity lifestyle. And that's very much in alignment with what Portugal is. And that brings in abundance through the system of how I've set up my courses and my apps and like my business. And so everything has been like, Portugal is very strong. And I was like, what was the point of the whole Puerto Rico thing then? Other than like, it's still in the background, maybe one day it'll make sense to do that. But what it really taught me was like so humbling. And actually this ties in perfectly with the AI thing, because for the past couple of years, like I had a friend who I met on from YouTube, who is also a YouTuber, recommend a certain business structure of like opening a business in Europe. And I did that because I didn't understand businesses. Like I didn't understand taxes. I didn't understand like any of that. And ChatGPT had told me that that was the best thing to do, and that it was like a really strong business structure and foundation. And I just thought that that was it. And I thought that like splitting my time between Italy and Portugal while having this European business, like that was like the best way to manage my business, my taxes and everything. And I was just like so humbled when I started going to other AIs and watching actual professionals on YouTube and like, you know, learning the truth about business foundations and structures. And as a US citizen, it doesn't matter if you start a European company. Like the only reason why you would ever do that is if you have like a European business partner. And so I was just like building on this foundation that was not stable and like not going to support me long term. And I have a friend who I met on the farm in Italy who's a business owner, and he was giving like a consult to the farm, and like what he always taught us was like you're only as strong as your systems, and like you can only grow like as strong as your systems are, pretty much. And I didn't realize that like I was building on like such a crappy foundation that was like I wasn't doing it correctly. And so because Puerto Rico is such a tax haven, I started learning about like business foundations. I started learning more about LLCs. If you're a US citizen, that will make sense to you. And I started learning about S Corps and like all these things. And I started realizing like what I need as a foundation for myself. And I know that like that's kind of, you know, 3D whatever, but like it is part of our reality right now. And it is like such an energetic shift knowing that now I have the resources and the understanding and the foundation. Like it's such an internal shift. And so now that I have this all in my mind and like clear, I feel so much more like empowered to move forward with launching the app and with also understanding my lifestyle, because I don't feel like I have to like avoid becoming like a resident of Italy or Portugal. I now understand like their tax systems and their residency systems so much more, because I actually did like research away from ChatGPT, because ChatGPT was just like gaslighting me and lying to me, and I thought like it was the truth for some reason. I knew that it would make up things, but I didn't realize how much it did until I started 2 different chats in ChatGPT, and like they were completely different information. And one was saying, absolutely open a business in Dubai, absolutely don't do that, and open a business here, and like all these things. And I just started going to like real humans to understand this. And I realized that Portugal actually has great incentives for like digital nomads, for those who have like LLCs and, you know, are expats. And I realized that my energy aligns a lot better here than like anywhere else in the world. And I realized that I love it here, and I realized that it, you know, it gives me everything that I want, and then I'm still in a place where I can get in a van and go see my horses and friends and everything in Italy and family in Italy, and still go drive and go spend time in the Swiss Alps. And stop, if you're going to sit here, you have to stop. No more. He's like a very licky dog. No, I don't want more kisses. No, thank you. Does it again. And yeah, so just, I wasn't really going to announce this because I don't know. I'm like, it could still change. Like I could be on an island tomorrow, who knows? But the whole point is like the technological issues, let me make sure we're still recording. Yeah. They gave me the space to, in between like retry, I started first I started learning everything that there is to know about Puerto Rico. And then I started learning more about like LLCs and started learning more about business foundations. And like, I think a lot of this is about foundation. And I met a few people here who like, that's like their whole thing is they do like public speaking on foundations. And that was like my universe, my angels and guides being like, look at the foundations, and then make a decision. Had I launched the app, like the technological issues did not happen, and I launched the app to the founding members and got like super busy in that and never went down this whole path, I would have been screwed down like in a year with this structure. And I also would have maybe moved to Puerto Rico. I also maybe would have moved and bought a house in Italy and like not have been energetically aligned with that. Like it gave me the space to have this like very deep experience to realize that I feel like I belong here. And like that's what I was just saying before this whole segment started. And that's interesting, the thing poofed again. The wish makers, right? Like you blow on them and you make a wish. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't show you because I have this large hat on me, but what was I saying? That's what I was saying when I was saying like this is one of the biggest things that I feel like I've ever felt, is because like leaving the US was easy, like relatively easy. Like that was not a huge, I mean it was a commitment, but I didn't feel like I was like committing too much. It more felt like an adventure, and it felt like, you know, I can turn back at any point, and I still can, but this feels like finding a home. I don't know, it feels like coming home to myself. And that's really been like what the spiritual awakening has been in the past 6 months, almost 6 months, has been really understanding that concept and having like very deep spiritual experiences, like I don't know what to call them, visualizations, journeys, like spiritual journeys, I guess, to the halls of a mentee, and then really being shown from my guides the kingdom within and like what that means. And yeah, I keep being shown this experience that I had the other day where I was invited to a dinner party, and it turned into like, it was first dinner with a bunch of people who are from this area. Like some people are new, some people, like one person I had met before, we did the improv class together, and like everyone was very different, like very, very different. One's a YouTuber, one was like more of a I don't know if he surfs, but he was like more of a surfer kind of guy, like just super chill, like not super into like new earth stuff, but like also was very spiritually awake, I would say. Like the most chill people who like try the least, I feel like are so enlightened. I don't know. I love that about some people who just like aren't so focused on the identity of being spiritual. And then there were the hosts who are like amazing public speakers and authors and like people who are really deep in this work too. And I found myself in each one of them. Like each one of them I saw myself in, and like the evening turned into this thing until like 1 or 2 a.m. where we were doing like really deep work and like really talking about like some really quantum things, but also like working through something with one of the people, and like we all kind of ended up working through that ourselves, and really just having it was like a ceremony, it felt. And we called it like some sort of a ceremony. And I realized the next day that it was a ceremony for me. It was like a coming home, like a completion, like a something to do with like me kind of like going on this journey ever since then of realizing that I think Portugal is my home. And like building a home in one place where I get to just like have kitchen appliances and like spices, and like I can like grow a closet again and a garden. That makes more sense. Well, like also like buying clothes and not just avoiding gathering any more things because I, you know, live out of a suitcase pretty much. It's such a grounding, regulating feeling. And so I feel like right now that energy that we're feeling is we're coming home to ourselves, we're remembering the kingdom within, the old BS is getting burned away, it's coming to the surface, but we're alchemizing, we're letting it go. And the roadblocks right now, they're just like little space holders so that you can follow your curiosity, like follow it hardcore. Had I not followed it so hardcore to like plan my whole life in Puerto Rico, I would not have learned that my whole business structure was like super messed up. And I wouldn't have learned about the foundation that I need to actually grow and expand and like experience true like abundance, because abundance, like it's not just money, but like it's ease and like it's systems and it's foundation. And so trust what you're experiencing right now. Trust the confusion. That's been like, there's a part of me that has been really frustrated because of the confusion. That was the piece that I really wanted to say in this message, but I wasn't sure if I would be able to remember it until this moment. What I was shown in my meditation yesterday was a puzzle. And so like the puzzle, it's meant to be confusing, right? That's why we like it. Like when we're doing a puzzle, we're like, where does this piece go? Where does this piece go? Eventually it comes together. And so you're meant to be confused so then you could spark curiosity, so then you can ask the right questions. That was the other really important part. I'm so grateful that it's coming through right now. This message, like, it almost makes me want to cry. Maybe because I'm like super tired and about to get my period, but like also because it's like really profound, this energy right now. Like it really actually makes me emotional. So the questions that you ask are so important right now. I kept asking myself, like, what do I want? I want one place where I can build a home and travel from. I want a yard, I want a garden, I want a closet, I want a home. I want to love the place that I live. I want to have a good business structure. I want a good tax structure. I want to know like how the system works so that I can feel like I can expand in it and not feel restricted by it. And like by asking those questions, I was taken on that journey. It was a spider. To understanding exactly what I needed in all the areas of my life. Pretty much it all came together from that puzzle that I allowed myself to play, from that confusion that I allowed myself to have, and from Arlo, you just sit and stop wiggling. And from the confusion I allowed myself to have, the questions I allowed myself to ask, the curiosity I allowed myself to like deep dive into. I think like if you're feeling kind of crazy right now, maybe that's why I feel so calm, because like Aries, we're just psychopaths. I'm like used to this like rabbit hole kind of energy of like going deep into things. Relax. And so maybe you're experiencing that right now. Maybe it's not normal to you, and so you're kind of like, whoa, what is this? Just trust it. It always works out. Like it always works out. I used to, like for example, the rabbit hole that I was feeling before was, okay, go down, crazy boy, sit. When I was living in the US, was always finding like Airbnbs in Europe. Like that was my thing that I would always do, was like searching for places in Europe that one day I would go stay in. And like that was the rabbit hole. I would like learn all about Italy, learn all about like how to travel with a dog and like all this stuff. Eventually that supported me in making that Aries decision of like, okay, go. This is the time, go. So trust the process right now. It's just temporary, but it's also a very powerful time for you. Like we'll never have this alignment again with so many planets in Aries. And my ears keep like getting all pressurized, but it's like going up in an airplane. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to go up in an airplane and fly to a new place, but we'll never have this alignment again. And what comes through right now, I think, could be like the beginning of your new life. Like it could be the thing that comes through could be part of like a very important part of the foundation of your new life. Trust the ideas that come to your head. Like I was saying, Aries is the head, like it's the I am, and it rules the head. Figure out who are you? Who is the I am, right? It's the I am that I am, but who are you? Ask yourself that, like, who am I? What do I want? What is it that makes me happy? Like, what brings me joy? Ask the right questions. Your brain is meant to answer. It's like, I love the journal prompt area and the spoken word area in my app, because the questions are designed to make you ask in a certain way, or they ask you in a certain way that makes you answer in a way that is like in alignment with the chosen timeline. And so ask the right questions and you will understand. Ask, who am I? What do I want? For me, like I said, the joy, the life that I wanted was a garden, was land, was a home, was a closet, was food food that I could make in my kitchen in an oven. I wanted an oven. and so it'll all come through, and it might look really weird when it's coming through. It might look like moving to an island that you've never considered before, but it will make sense eventually. Trust the confusion. You're just playing a puzzle right now, and it's going to come together, and it's going to be the foundation for the rest of your life. I hope that this message resonated. I feel like it really came through in the way that it was meant to. The last thing that wants to come through right now is the other thing that I saw in my meditation today, which is in the house that I grew up in California. It had this like wine cellar thing that was really creepy and weird and scary, and I did not like it. My brother is like such a big brother, but he used to like lock me in there. Like we would go down there to play together, and he would go up the ladder and then like lock me in there, and it was the most terrifying thing of my entire life, because I think we had just watched The Grudge too. I just was so scared in there. That was like true fear. And I was like, why am I being shown this in my meditation this morning? What was interesting, what I was seeing and what was actually part of this room, is that it was just an empty wine cellar, but it was like kind of like dirt ground, and like it was like a chamber. But there was also this little door, and we didn't have the key for the door, and we never went in there. And like my whole life I've wondered like what was beyond that door. And we always kind of like joked that it was, you know, creepy or whatever, like what was beyond the door. But in my meditation, the visual that I was getting was that like that room, you know, as scary as it was and everything, that was like the subconscious. That was like facing the patterns that we don't like to face, that we don't like to actually look at and like face, right? For me, like there was a part of me that just didn't realize this, but like a part of me probably didn't want to face understanding how to actually like be an entrepreneur and like have a good LLC and S Corp and like all these things, like understanding that. I was like, I'll learn that later. I don't want to face that. Or just like beliefs, you know, like the beliefs that started coming up in my dream life sleep hypnosis, and like that I had to play small to be loved, like these things that hide in the subconscious, hide in the body, hide in the fascia, all these things. That was that room. And then beyond the door, what I saw in my meditation was it was kind of like, I think the movie, I'm not like a big movie watcher, but I think the movie was The Da Vinci Code, or I think it was National Treasurer. Like he finds treasure, he finds like treasure room. And like I was seeing behind this little scary hobbit door was that. And so when you move through the darkness of the subconscious and move through the things that you've been avoiding and the fear that you have that has been controlling your life, you open this little unknown door that you didn't even like really, you knew it was there, but like you were too scared to actually ever go down there and like open it. The treasure is in there. The abundance is in there. Everything that you've ever needed in order to move forward with your life is in there. So don't be afraid of facing those dark parts of yourself that have been hiding in the background. It's very important it's the foundation, right? That was my foundation. I thought the foundation of this house was built upon this scary room, but actually in this timeline, it's built upon a treasure. And so you have the key to go down and unlock that if you choose. Powerful, powerful message today. so tired. I'm gonna take the dogs on a walk. If you want to sign up for NŌVÉ as a founding member, 1-2 more days. We're really getting started. If you want to join once it's live, there will be a 5-day free trial. And so that will be, you know, a few weeks from when the founding members start their journey. If you want to, I'm like, what else do I say at this point? I'm so tired. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Araya Menti. If you want to leave a comment, that really supports my channel. Let me know if anything came up in this message, if it resonated the way I think it, because it's like so powerful for me, and like this is such a big moment for me. It feels, I felt like this was like one of my favorite videos. But let me know in the comments anything you want to share. If you want to just support this channel and leave a comment, you can put a wolf emoji. We love wolves here. If you want to support this channel even further, you can hype it. You get 3 a week. Liking the video also really helps. And subscribe if you're new here and you want to see what is next. Maybe building a home in Portugal. I will take you guys on that journey for real. I do plan to like make my videos a little bit more vloggy, like I really wanted to do before. I'm hoping to take that approach and try it out again, and to really show you the process of like, if I build a home, like maybe building a home with my brother, like he might come help me, or I have so many ideas. We'll go down that path when that time comes, or flying away to an island. We'll see. I love you. I will see you in the next video. Bye.